Welcome, welcome everybody. We've got about 1 minute until the top of the hour, and so we're just waiting for a bunch of people to come on the line. We actually have people coming on right now. We have a lot of people registered for tonight, so hopefully everybody's going to be able to get on and not be able to get locked out. So while we're waiting for this last minute, I'd love to know where you guys are coming from. So I'm Brenda Gagne. I haven't said my name yet, but some of you know me, some of you don't, but I'd love to know where you're coming here tonight. So just go ahead into the chat box and just put in, what city or state or country you're coming from, and we can kind of see who's here. So, hello, everybody. Oh, sunny Auckland, way on the other side of the world. Got Oregon, Colorado, Illinois, a couple Colorados.
It's next to Arkansas.
I don't think so.
On the other side of the world. New Zealand.
Texas.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Justin, by the way.
Yep. We got some Canadians, Pennsylvania, California, Newport. Let's see, Hungary. Awesome. Fort Lauderdale. Another Florida guy. Hey, Kevin. Down here in Florida. It's been nice down here. Massachusetts, Montana, a couple Canadas. Oh, welcome, everybody. Glad that you guys are here. Okay, I shared my screen, right? Justin, you can see my screen? Cool.
I can see your screen. Good to go.
All right. Well, I say top of the hour. I'm all about respecting people's time. We got a lot to get through and definitely don't want to be on here too long. So I'm good to go ahead and get started. Justin, you ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, let me put this up into presentation. Oh, hang on a second. Let me pull this out of here. And all right, how about that? You can still see okay?
I can. That's
awesome.
Good.
All right. Well, as it does say on the screen right here, we definitely want you to put away your distractions. So if you kind of got your Facebook up or you got your Skype or cell phone or TV on, I'd kind of recommend that you put it away for right now, because what we're going to go through tonight, if you've never heard me before, like I mentioned, I'll share with you who I am in just a second. But at least some of the copy that got put out, I don't do fluff. I know Justin doesn't do fluff. We got a lot of really cool information to share with you, and it can really truly help you a lot. So I definitely want to make sure that you have full attention here, because the stuff that we're going to be going over is a lot of the stuff that's not truly, out in the open all the time. So we are pulling the curtain back. We're showing you, well, what are we doing here? Why are we here tonight? We're sharing with you a lot of the stuff that, if you want to make 6-7-figure earners online, this is the stuff that has to get done. So my question to you right now is, I know that's what I put out there, at least for the copy that I put out, and Justin, we had the same tone. This is what we're showing you tonight. But my question specifically to you, and I'd like for you to actually put this in the chat box there. Why are you here tonight? What specifically brought you to this webinar tonight, and what are you interested in getting out of it? So if you could just take the few seconds here to just put that in the chat, so that way I can kind of see what you put and make sure that what we're going over is at least in line with what you guys are expecting to get out of tonight. And I don't know why this just changed. It changed recently, like a few months ago, but when I put in presentation mode, the little organizer screen gets stuck and I can't move it. So Justin, you can probably see them better than I can. So just maybe if you keep an eye on that stuff, that'll be helpful. So
yeah. And by the way, guys, anything, I'm going to be definitely chiming in and contributing here, but I'm going to be manning the questions. So if you have questions, if something comes up, go ahead and type those in anytime throughout this presentation. I'm going to be keeping a pretty close eye on that too. So, all right. So I'm going to. You want me to read some of these out?
Yeah, actually, I was just going to say, what are some of the comments in there?
So Sarah wants to streamline her business. Jackie has already the best answer, because you guys rock.
There you go.
So she wins the cash prize of $1 tonight. Secrets to making 6 figures. Because Carolina sent me. You always give good value. How to make at least $100,000 in 2014.
Good one. Okay.
Finally learn how to make money on the internet, because you're an awesome teacher. More about online marketing.
Me. Yep. Just kidding. All right.
Oh yeah, I just got that. That was a crack on me, wasn't it?
It totally was. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's cool. The one thing I thought was interesting, how to first start making money online, and then how to make $100,000 this year. So that just right there shows you basically the scope of not only who's here tonight, but who's out there all over the place. We've got brand new people coming through that are really just trying to figure this out. Yet we also have people that are already on the internet, they're already working it, and they just want to scale their business. So I think we're definitely going to be able to touch base on everything. Oh, what's going on here? I'm like trying to, whoa, oh, wow. Oh, we'll get it. We'll get it. So what we're going to touch on tonight is sponsored by the Home Business Academy. If you registered, well, obviously if you're here, you registered, you saw that little logo on there. And so the webinar tonight is brought to you by Home Business Academy, and we will be speaking to that in just a little bit. But you're really here right now to see what it takes to build six figures online. And, think about where you are right now. We just had someone ask how to make $100,000 this year. I would hopefully assume that question came from somebody who was already making money, because if we're brand new out of the gates and expect $100,000 in a year, I don't know if it's that realistic. There's a lot of stuff that has to take place. But think about where you are right now. How far are you from what you actually want? What's your goal? Where are you right now? And just kind of keep that in the back of your head as I go through some of this stuff tonight. Because if we're going to show you what it really takes to earn six figures, there's a really good chance that you're not that close to it. But it doesn't mean that you can't get there. And that's the whole goal of tonight, basically, is to show you what it takes and then to how to bridge that gap from where you are to, how to get there. So for those of you that don't know, I am Brenda Gagne. Now you can see me right here. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I've got three little girls in that picture, and I used to be an elementary teacher. I definitely have not been an internet person my entire life. I got into this industry about, I think we're going on 3.5, maybe close to 4 years now. And I've just been able to successfully grow. I mean, I started from scratch completely and worked my way up. And now I've kind of come full circle. I really enjoy flipping things around and teaching what I know, since I was able to kind of figure it out and have a lot of success. I like turning around and helping people. So that's really, truly where my passion is. That's why I'm here tonight with you guys, being able to share all this. So obviously on the line, I also have Justin. So Justin, you can go ahead and introduce yourself there.
Okay. Yeah, my apologies. I keep getting this pop up that the webinar, the line is actually full. So if you guys are on, and I don't know, I'm glad you're actually the presenter. Does that keep coming up for you?
No, it's not, but I have my screen like in
Someone could
presentation
join.
mode,
Okay.
so it could be behind me
Perfect.
if possible.
Well, that's good.
It is
Okay,
good.
so yeah, guys, my name is Justin Glover, and that is a picture of me. Man, that's a throwback picture in the bottom.
It is. You
Where
know
was
what?
that? San
That's
Diego?
why I put it on here, because yeah, that was San Diego, and that was unstoppable. And after that event was kind of when we started talking, like
Yeah,
really a lot
yeah, we met
more.
down at Jonathan Budd's house, I believe.
Right, we met at
So
Jonathan Budd's house, and then we started talking more. So that's why
sweet.
I pulled that picture out, because I was like, it was right after that where we really started connecting, and that right there is a testament to live events. I met you at Jonathan Budd's house because we both won that mastermind thing. But if I hadn't have met you again at the next two events that I was at, we would never be where we are right now. So you just never know what's going to happen at an event. So that's kind of why I threw that picture in there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And right next to the one of me picking my nose on stage, that was a great picture. Um,
I never thought that. I mean, now everybody's going to say that, but I never thought it when I picked it. I'm like, wait, there he is. He's on stage. That's a great picture.
yeah, I
Grabbed
was
it.
I was actually like poking my eye or wiping something out of my eye, but it looked like it, and so I posted it. I was like, I caught it right before I posted it um, to Facebook, and I was like, wait, should I post it? And I was like, ask her. I actually almost put a little caption on it and kind of
Uh,
made a little funny out of it. But anyway, guys, I have a little bit about me if you're not familiar. I've been working online full time since January of 2009. Whenever I first got started, I was actually working quite a bit. Out of every 24-hour period, there wasn't much time, just a few hours to do of each 24-hour period to do my eating, my sleeping, my socializing, my business building, my showering, everything. I didn't have a whole lot of time. I worked three jobs, well over 100 hours a week, um, and I was just tired. My initial goal when I first got started in this industry was I came to the internet because I wanted to not I wanted to work a quote unquote 40 a normal 40-hour work week. Like that was my that was my end all be all objective is I just wanted to make enough money working 40 hours a week because that's what everybody else did. So that kind of led me over to the internet and doing some searches and um, you know, Googling something like how to make money online, found some ads, got on people's list, started learning, consuming material, spending money buying information products and buying more information products, and then I bought a few more, and that trend continued for quite a while. But I just learned, and I was a sponge for knowledge for a long time, and I spent a whole lot of money, didn't make any back, and then I started really wondering, okay, well, what does it really take? And I started looking and analyzing it, not just what the people were saying, what these marketers were saying, but I started looking at what they were doing. And that alone was the big distinction for me, because I noticed that they were actually going to certain types of events. They were in certain communities. They were putting themselves around certain types of people, and they were doing things a little bit differently than they were actually telling and teaching. So I started just modeling them and knowing, okay, well, I need to get around these people and try to, ask them directly. And so I went to actually my first live event was where I met a guy and had two different conversations at that event that completely changed my life and business forever. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but the short version is I ended up selling. I walked away from that event. For the last 3 months prior to that, I think I had made about $100 online total. Spent about 35 grand. All right, that was the ratio. Not a good ROI, but I walked away from that event after two key conversations. I implemented what I learned and kept in touch with him and ended up selling $100,000 worth of stuff on the internet in 91 days. Actually, it was about 80 days, but it was on day 91 where I actually went in, and I remember handing my resignation letter to my third and final boss. So that's kind of the short story of me. I've been full-time online since, just teaching, and really resonated with Brenda whenever I met her. She's got a lot of great stuff, great teaching, and wanted to bring her on and actually you know collaborate with her and chat and see what she was up to, and then that led to products and different things that we had going on together. So that's a little bit about me. I think
Uh,
yeah, I think that's about it.
a little bit extra testitude there to live events, because it's interesting because you say you made, oh yeah, and then I made $100,000 within 90 days. That's the story that people usually hear. They don't hear the behind the story that it took you months and months to get there, and you paid $35,000 worth of stuff. So just kind of pulling the whole curtain back on everything, being very transparent, that it's never just usually as easy as it seems for people. And
Yeah, so let me actually add on that. What most people actually don't know is I and don't do this if you're in that position, but the second month that I made that my monthly income matched my job income, my online income matched my job income. The second month in a row that it did that, I quit. And then again, 91 days. So in about a 3 month period, I ended up quitting all of my jobs, completely giving up that income. Guess what happened on month four? I didn't make that much money. I was struggling, and I had burned those bridges and left the job. So I wouldn't recommend that. And it was a pretty good roller coaster. After that, I didn't actually go back to work. Um, I stuck through it, and I was able to never have to go back and work for anybody else again. But um, there's when things change. I mean, this industry is always changing, so you have to adapt, you have to learn, and it's simple, but it's not easy. Like there's a lot of stuff to learn, and so unfortunately, that stuff is what you don't really hear about, and you don't really hear people teaching.
yeah,
So
until tonight. So, yeah, and I think that's kind of why we can relate pretty well, because we both just started out struggling for a long time, and it wasn't any big success thing that just instantly happened. It was a struggle, and I can relate to the people that are going through it. So, um, that's basically why we're here right now, is because we're both here because there is a tone in this industry right now. And like we just said, you don't hear that stuff. And it's unfair, because I think it puts you at a disadvantage, because you have these expectations that just really aren't real. So we want to show you exactly what it really takes to build a six-figure online business. And this was, when did I put these slides together? We haven't been sleeping much, so I'm almost like losing track of my days, but today's Tuesday, so I think I did this yesterday. Anyway, point is I did this just recently. I went out and just typed in make money from home. Like how would you go make money from home? These were some of the things that popped up. first one here is 7 easy ways to make money, extra money, without working. And I was just like, that's a headline right there, boom. And and you can see that it was November, so it's fairly recently, but it showed up, so obviously it's ranking. And I'm like, what a great message. Without working, you don't have to do anything, but you can make some easy money. And then you have another one that's turnkey cash kits. Look at the money flying in the cars, and it's turnkey. Just buy it, and you're going to be having all of this stuff easy. You don't have to do anything. And the last one right here, learn to earn money from websites, internet, online for free. And, it's not true. Hopefully that's not true, that you're not falling for these. But if you did fall for them, you wouldn't get blamed for it, because the marketing is a very powerful message. Of course, you're out there, you need money. You don't want to spend money to get it. You want to get it for free. But that's usually going to get you some poor results. It's going to get you jaded, going to get you frustrated. And we want to save you from that. But this is the message that's out there right now. And it's a very unfair message. It's not the case. And there is a saying out there that's definitely being said a lot: sell them what they want, not what they need. And it's truly responsible for a lot of frustration. But it's just like I just said, jadedness in this online marketing industry. And it's really exploded in the last year. I don't think when I was getting started, this definitely wasn't the message, and I've just kind of seen it grow, and I think it's unfortunate. And one of the things I've been trying to do over the last year, and it's one of the reasons why Justin and I have just kept in contact and working on things, is because we have the same vision. We don't like that saying. We've been working hard on switching it around. Yes, we're going to sell them what they want, but then we're going to give them what they need so they can get what they want. It's more coming from the value service to really truly help you as a person, as your family. Because truthfully, when I started, my kids were 2, 3, and 5. Now they're definitely a little bit older. They're 6, 7, and 10. But it's an entire family aspect. And so when I'm dealing with someone, it's not just a number, it's not just a customer, it's the family. And I know what's involved behind it, and there's a lot of struggle. So whatever we can do to help them get what they want is definitely what we're going to do. And when you have this, when you go through this method, you get clarity, you get results, and that just right there will transpire into income and happiness. It just kind of goes together. So there is an actual specific process to online success. There really is. It's a process, and everybody that's being successful is using the same process. They're not teaching it, but they're using it. It's not luck. It's not instant. If you ever see instant out there, it's the way that they have portrayed that message, because it's not possible. You just don't come into this and have instant success. If you have quick success, it's because you have a lot of backstory. It's because you may have skills that you had done something in the past that have helped you through this. And it's definitely not always easy. And if it were, you've heard this saying probably in many different areas of your life, but everyone would be successful. If this were easy, and if this were something that everybody can come do, everybody would be successful. And the one thing, and it really kind of truly depends on where you are, and I don't recognize all the names, so I can't really judge on where you are in your business right now. But I'm assuming if you're on this webinar tonight with very short notice, you either know Justin or I pretty well. You may have seen an ad that came through, because I did promote it on Facebook just for one day. But that would probably mean that you've been online for a little while. You've been trying to build this business. Even if you're getting started, if you're here tonight, you've probably been trying for just a little bit. And one of the things that almost will hinder you is that you might have to unlearn a few things to be able to truly learn this process well. And what I mean by that is all of that marketing message that's out there that I showed you, it's everywhere. And sometimes it kind of oozes in to the copycat marketing that goes out there. So if you're told to go do something, a lot of that will come through, even if you don't mean it. So I'm going to touch on that in just a second. But this right here is why most marketers are struggling. And you're going to, I'm almost going to guarantee that you're going to be able to relate to some of these. But there's, with everything that's going on right now, we're bombarded with distracting messages. They're marketing messages all day long. And I will tell you, marketers are getting very, very savvy. They're good. Justin and I were at this event in Evan-Pagan over the summer, and one of the things that he mentioned was, it's almost an unfair advantage because marketers have gotten so pinpoint specific, and they're dialing down to your ultimate deepest desires. It's almost unfair that it's very hard not to buy stuff, which is good if you can learn how to do that and do it the right way, but it's very hard when you're trying to be focused. If one of the other things people are struggling with is they're very unclear on how to actually spend their time online. There's so much stuff out there. What do you actually do every day that's going to move you forward? There's a lot of surface level marketing. I've been kind of dissecting this for the last year, and surface level is only going to get you, just barely enough results. You've got to go deep with one strategy. And when you have all these distracting messages coming at you all the time and you're unfocused, it's very easy just to kind of do the top. I already touched on this. There's a lot of copycat marketing, and it's actually watering down the initial marketing strategy. And putting these all together just really, truly leads to where most people are today. We already talked about this. That instant success message, it taints the marketing pool. It's just that self-perception of like you feel like you should be doing so much better than you are because you see people coming in and having these instant results. It can take your confidence and just pull it straight down. And if you pull back and you get a group of people together and you really open up, it's just amazing how many people are feeling that way. And it's just unfortunate. So
Hey, Brenda,
go
can you go
ahead.
back to that one slide? I want to
Oh,
touch on one
I don't
point that you
know.
mentioned
Okay, yeah.
that so many people
Oh, I'm going to get there.
actually struggle with, and that is, and you went through it, and you said, I want to make sure that people really, really heard it. Being
Yeah, and I
unclear
talk
about
really
how to
fast.
actually,
I'm sorry, I talk
yeah,
really fast. I'm sorry. I
somebody
can't.
actually
Can you
commented
can
on
you
that,
slow her
so.
down? I can't. I can't do it. And I usually apologize up front because I'll try but you know what? You'll get to know my speed. Sorry.
Hey, anybody that thinks Brenda's talking too fast and want to slow her down, if you go and get this tool, it's called Enounce My Speed. You can either speed up videos or you
You
can
can
slow
slow
them
me
down
down.
in this case. So you can
Yeah.
watch the recording and slow her down and like
I'll
put her at
try.
half speed.
I realize I have new people on here. I'll try. Go
No,
ahead.
it's
What's your point?
well, we do have a lot to get through. So
Yeah.
the point is, you touched on people being unclear about how to actually spend their time online.
Mhm.
And I really want people to understand that clarity, if I had to sum up, what's the differentiator between somebody who you put 100 people and give them all the same content, there's only going to be a few of them that actually go out and get the result. Doesn't mean that there's only going to be a few that do anything. Some are going to take action, some are going to work their butts off, but only a small percentage actually get the result. And I hear it all the time, why is that? I'm doing the same thing I'm seeing everybody else do. And the answer, I think, across the board is clarity. It's the lack of clarity, the reason that people are not getting those. Because when you go to sit down to do anything, when you sit down at your computer and you say, okay, I want to do something, but if you're not 100, like if you don't know exactly to the fine level, exactly what you should be doing, then you're opening yourself up for distraction. And just that, I mean, that combination, being open for distraction and not having that focus and clarity, is deadly whenever you put it with what Brenda just said, all this other nonsense marketing message that's coming out. And there's even a lot of really, really great stuff, but it's not relevant to you at the certain time. So that's what I really want people to understand here is, that's not a real sexy talking point. Like, it's getting clear. I understand what to do. Well, obviously not. All right.
Mhm.
So that's really what, one of the things that people won't spend a lot of time and effort teaching because people don't want to hear it and they don't buy it. Nobody likes to buy, how to get clarity, right? Everybody wants how to make money. So
Mhm.
that's just one little nugget that I wanted
Well,
to
you
plant there so you
you
guys can
jumped right
understand.
in on where I'm going. So obviously,
Mm,
which is
okay, sorry.
perfect. No, 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 it's perfect because I put the slides together, you looked over them, but I love when that happens because you guys live are seeing that this is a process. This is the exact way it works. If you don't have the specific clarity, this stuff isn't going to work. Exactly. Like, what's the best way to overcome this? Complete focus on task at hand. Complete clarity of your action steps. So there's a specific reason why he just jumped in because that's really how to overcome this. It's not sexy, it's not wonderful, but it's what works. So if you have focus at your task at hand and you know what that focus is because you have clarity of your action steps, then you're going to have complete confidence in your marketing action plan. It all works together. But it only comes together when you're actually following this proven model. And this proven model has to be step by step with no missing pieces. Just to mention, there's some great material out there, but if you're not ready for that material, it's not going to do you any good. And if you try to implement it, you're going to be missing other parts to it. And that's what I've seen a lot of. And if you don't know me, the last 6-7 months, I've been really working with people and coaching and dissecting their issues and struggling. And so I'm not just talking theory, I'm talking what I've experienced with people. So usually how you can get this is by getting personal coaching, being aware of what your specific goals are, and then what activities are going to get you to that goal. And to be able to understand this 6-figure blueprint, which we're going to show you, I've got it laid out for you. I'm going to share with you what it is. I want you to at least understand what actually doesn't work. And that's why this is going to be a little bit different, because I've got 2 examples here. What a tactical marketer will do, and they're going to start making some money, and they're going to be doing okay, but they're not going to be that 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure earner who is the strategical marketer. And I want you to make sure that you're at least aware of the difference, because if you're not aware, then you can't do anything with it. Getting clarity is what we're kind of about tonight, showing you what works for the 6 figures, but also how to bridge that gap. So what is this tactical focused marketer? What am I talking about? A tactical marketer is really focused on doing more and working harder. And so, sorry, I've got my dogs and the door is going to be opening in a little bit, so apologize if they jump in. But a tactical marketer is going to be doing things each day, like trying to get more leads, buying more traffic courses, talking to more prospects, attending more webinars, creating more lead capture pages, learning more traffic strategies. This stuff is all important. Yes, it definitely is. And you hopefully right now you kind of might be shaking your head, because I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I want to do this. This is stuff I'm working on. And it's tactical. That's totally fine. You have to be able to do these things. Following different gurus, different industry leaders, it's very important to do these. But none of these things actually will create true wealth. They're going to make you money, but it's not going to get you to that, that breakthrough point. These are just activities that are simply going to keep you busy with an online job. And until you have full leverage and until you start being strategical, that's kind of what you have, which is an okay position. You have to kind of go through this step. But I just want you to also be aware. The 6- and 7-figure earners are not doing this.
Yeah. Hey guys, that's a great time to point out that what she mentioned earlier, doing stuff that goes right hand in hand what I was just saying, that you put the same material and the same action steps in front of a group of people. A vast majority of them, they may be action takers. They're going to do the steps, but what does that other person have different? And again, you hear what are the marketers teaching? What are most of the gurus teaching? They're teaching do the money-making activities, these things, which again, like Brenda said, are good, but that's not the whole piece of the story. Mm-hmm. So,
and I'll have to say, very interesting. It's harder to teach the rest of the piece of the story. It's a lot harder to teach. And I don't even know if I put it in this presentation, but you have to be a good teacher to be able to teach this. And I'm not saying that other people are not, but they're marketers. They came from different backgrounds. I think you have to be able to have a full understanding of people and how to teach them. And I've been able to break it down pretty well and helping a lot of people. And so I just, I have a feeling that as I've been trying to figure out the why, like why is this not being taught? It's because it's hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I just had a $3,000 mastermind event that Brenda actually spoke at a few months ago, and we really went deep into clarity and getting that, and I had all this stuff planned out before, and going through it and just seeing, I said, okay, well, this is going to be totally different. So it's a learning process, because putting people through it in real life scenarios, there's always stuff that I didn't even realize. So this is how to teach this is it's our mission, but it's a learning process for us too, as far as, how to teach this, because it's very, very, it's very difficult. And I've been working on slides for the Home Business Academy for like the last few days, and creating that content and stuff, it's like, man, this is tough. There's so many things that you have to really get people to experience, and instead of just learn. You've got to plant triggers in where they will remember at the right times. Just certain things. It's crazy. So it is definitely difficult to teach.
Right. So, well, let's flip it, and I want to show you what the strategical side of it is, in addition to some of those tactical things, because once you take the time to have your strategy mapped out, as most people don't even take that time and they don't even know what they don't know, but once you have that figured out, that's when these quantum leaps will actually occur with those tactical activities. So I'm like trying to be as complicated as I possibly can with these big sounding words, but I'm trying to pull it down for you. So what is this strategy of the focus marketer? That these are the 6 to 8 figure earners. So the strategical marketer is focused on the bigger picture. They're thinking of how they can fit their own marketing better into people's lives. So not are they thinking about how do I get more leads? How do I get another traffic source? They're taking a step back and saying, well, what are my people doing? How could I get in front of them a little bit more? So what are some examples of this? Focusing on their brand trait and how are they perceived by the hopeful customers. So if someone says my name, what do they say after it? Is that what I want them to be saying? How could I change what my perception is? How can I get in front of them? They're more of these how questions. They're then going to take kind of this, what I like to call the spider web of marketing. They're going to be all over the place. And to do this takes tactical, process to be able to officially, make this work on the internet. But sometimes they'll just pay people to do that, or they'll figure it out themselves. But they're more, I want to engage with my audience everywhere that they are. I don't want to just have one method where I can get leads and I can make sales. That's tactical and that's good and it's going to work. But then the next step is this. It's maximizing every single effort that they do. They're going to be testing and they're going to be tweaking all of those tactical activities because they want to be able to get more out of the same effort. And so, hey, if I put this out there, this many people did that. Well, what if I changed it and did it this way? Same amount of effort on my part, but maybe I'm going to get a bigger result. So I'm sure by now, you're probably like, okay, yeah, I see, this makes sense. How in the world would I do it? Okay, it's a process. We're going to teach you that. But the other thing is they're looking for building a following and how to maximize it with a win-win situation. I think you guys have all heard, the more you value you get, the more you're going to give back. When you're struggling to make some money, when you're barely getting any leads, it's very hard to think of that other person and giving them value. It's really more an internal struggle of like, oh my gosh, I've got to get some leads. I got to make a sale like yesterday. It's hard to think about that other person. But when you can jump over that gap and realize that, well, if I can help them do this, they're going to help me do this, and it's a win-win situation, and everybody's happy, that's really where you can scale your business pretty high. So learning strategy is definitely more advanced, and it's very hard to do on your own. I don't think I know one person who has ever done it on their own. Everybody's at least had a network or had help or something like that. So the question to you is, so how do I learn to do this strategy, and what is this main blueprint? So what are the tactical things that they're doing in along with this strategy? So it's going to be coming from mentors that are going to help you. I mean, I certainly had a mentor. I have a network group of people. Justin, you had mentors. I don't know anybody that hasn't, because you got to learn from somebody. When we just said it's very hard to teach this, it is. It's almost something that you have to experience and be able to work it out for yourself. So you also learn by dissecting funnels of great marketers. That was something I did all the time. And Justin, I think you mentioned it just a little while ago, like why is someone taking me to this spot? Well, why did they send me to this page? And figuring out the why behind what they're doing. Because if you can understand the why, you're going to get clarity. And then you have to learn from experiencing these strategies on your own with someone who's invested in your success. So that's one way to be able to get you to help bridge that gap. So my question for you is just think about, are you in a position to be able to learn this strategy? If you have no idea how to generate a lead yet, or maybe have never made money before, some of this strategy stuff sounds highly confusing and you're not ready for it. But if you can learn it in a kind of succinct manner where it all flows together at the same time from someone who knows how to do it, it's going to take a lot off your plate. It's going to take off a lot on your learning curve, because most of the people are jumping all over the place when they're learning. And if you can learn it, it's almost better if you're coming in new and learning it this way than having to unlearn. And that's kind of what I was talking about in the earlier slide there. So right now, let's go into this. Let's get detailed. I want to share with you what these 6 steps are to 6 figures online. And I didn't even realize it was 6 steps, but as I mapped them out, came out to 6 steps to 6 figures. Makes that pretty easy to understand. So if at any time in the last, 20 or so minutes, if you've kind of gone off the side or done something else, I'm encouraging you to come on back for a second, because this is some really good information. I mentioned that people should be paying to be on here because this is really great information, and you're going to see that for sure. But I am going to cover these steps kind of fast. This is not take this information and go make six figures tonight. It's not possible. So I'm going to go through these kind of fast. I'll try to slow down a little bit, but take some notes if you want to. Doesn't mean you're going to be able to implement everything yet, but I want you to understand it. This is exactly what we said we're going to be giving you, and I want to make sure that we do it. The road to six figures is a journey. Nobody does it overnight. And as long as you're moving forward, and as long as you're being consistent with what you're doing, you're on your path. You're not sure exactly where it might take you, but if you don't look back and you say, I'm not going to quit and I'm going to make this happen, it will eventually happen for you. So,
Yeah, and guys, I just want to chime in too right before she gets started. As she goes through this, there's two different types of people on here that are at different levels. So if you're newer, some of this stuff is going to be a little complicated. You'll be like, oh, it's just somebody else going and kind of highlighting it and showing stuff that's, they're glossing over it, not going that far in depth. And that's okay. Let that happen, because that is part of the learning process. You have to understand how all of the pieces fit together, and that is the purpose of this. So you understand it all. It's not to, just like Brenda said, I mean, the purpose isn't to go out and do all of this, or we don't expect you to go and do all of this or be able to do all of this on your own. But that is the first step in this whole process, is just understanding, okay, here's where I'm at, and here's the helicopter view of kind of the big picture steps that I have to take, that I have to follow. And that way, you'll slowly zoom in further and further, and you'll be able to understand, okay, if a distraction comes up and it doesn't relate or enhance what these steps that I'm following, if it doesn't enhance those, then it's a little bit easier to avoid that distraction and kind of push it away. So this is the first piece of that puzzle. So I just wanted to say that, because if you happen to get overwhelmed or think, okay, wow, this is way too much, don't worry about it. This is just the first piece. So
oh,
that said,
absolutely.
go
Yeah.
right ahead.
It's definitely just the first piece. I don't ever do anything or share people information that I'm not going to be able to expand on it later. And I don't think you guys expected that. You came back to see what's behind a six-figure business, so it's not like you're trying to be able to get that right tonight. But it's the clarity, it's the understanding. So I said there's 6 steps. So I'm just going to list the first 6 just right here, and then I'll go just a little bit more in depth in each one. So the first one is building a personal and an online entrepreneur foundation. And again, like I said, I'm going to explain these just a little bit more and what they mean. The second one is learning. So this is what they do. They go through that phrase first. The second one is they're learning the marketing fundamentals, and they're learning how to create buyers on demand. So that's the part of marketing that they're really honing down on. Then they're getting very technically set up to market these campaigns, because let's face it, we're in the internet. It's techie. It's a technology field. It's got to get done at some point, whether you do it yourself, you hire somebody to do it. The technology stuff has to come into place. Then it's the active marketing with specific traffic strategies. There are so many strategies out there. So many strategies will work for some, they'll work for others, some won't work for others. And that's just kind of another reason why some people have a hard time with traffic, because what works for one will not work for the others. So it's finding out what that traffic is that works. And then it's tweaking the campaigns so that they finally get the equation. You get $2 for every $1 you spend, or ideally $5 for every $1 you spend. But either way, you've tweaked the campaigns. They've got them so that they're making this work, and it's then becomes numbers. Okay, I know this is what it's going to get me, so let's go do this, let's go do this, let's go do this. And that's where the true clarity comes into place. And then the 6, and this is what takes you to the 6, 7, 8 figures, is scaling your efforts. Once you get this all done in place, it's working for you. The next step is just taking it bigger, and that can be done in a lot of different ways. So kind of sounds like it's common sense. I think it is, but you know what? Unfortunately, it's so not. We've got that 97% don't reach 6 figures. Why in the world is that? Why are so many people not making it? I can't stand the statistic. It's been driving me crazy for the last year, and I've been working really hard on trying to change it.
There's a
So,
great quote that I heard the other day that says, to know and not to do is not to know. And I think that is the answer of that for a lot of people because it's like you said, it seems common, but common sense ain't so common. If it was that simple and it was that common, then everybody would be doing it. But I think again, to know and then not to do is not to know. So anyway,
Absolutely. Yeah.
go right ahead.
Well, and this right here is what I've noticed with all of the research and questionings and surveys and one-on-ones and group. This is what I've noticed. Most people are starting in the wrong place. Most people are starting in step 3, which is getting technically set up to market those campaigns. So whatever opportunity you come in, whatever business that you have, it's like, here's your website, here's your stuff, go, which is the step 1, go market, or the
It's
next
the
step.
fun stuff.
It's the stuff that's going to make you, it's going to get you leads, it's going to make you money. This is the technical stuff. Go take it. Here's a traffic strategy. Go follow it, follow the videos, and go. How many of you guys does that sound familiar? It's been taught a lot. It's been taught by many people. I think at one point, I'm sure I probably said, okay, well, you just need to get out there and start marketing. And I think that's been the tone for a while. Like, well, just get them started. Just, they don't want to learn, just get them started. Well, yeah, again, that's tactical. You might get a few things. But the thing is that it's really hard to market if you don't understand what you're doing. And so if we have 100 people, get started, they start doing this, 50% of these people are not going to get results. So we'll say, 50%, they're not going to get results at all. So they're either going to quit or they're just going to move on to some other opportunity that might seem a little bit easier. They might jump ship over something else. And truthfully, they're not going to get results over there either. That's because they haven't built up what they need to do. So oops, sorry, I jumped the gun on that. We're going to have to go back. This is a little touchy because I did it quick. So the other 50% are going to realize, hey, you know what? I need some more help. I need to go back and really figure out what I'm doing. And I would have to say, I think a lot of you guys are here. You're looking for some more help. You're looking for some more clarity and understanding. And that goes all the way back to step 1. You need to understand and build that personal and online entrepreneur foundation, which sounds big, and I'm going to tell you what that really entails in just a second. But of those 50% that go back to step 1, and they start working on their mindset and they start working on their foundation for their business, about those people that are left, 10% will then say, you know what? Now I need to really learn these marketing fundamentals. Only 10% are going to say, okay, this is not working the way I want it, or it's working, but I need to get better. I need to learn the marketing fundamentals so that I can create buyers on demand. Do the same work that I'm doing, but getting a lot better results. 10% of the people are going to do that. Of those 10, 5% are then going to move to that next step, which is tweaking that campaign to get you that $2 for every dollar. It's a lot. It's work. You got to go in there. You got to look at your numbers. You got to start looking at stuff a little bit more technical than the fun stuff, but you got to do it. Of those 5%, 3% are then going to move into step 6, which is scaling your efforts, which brings you to why 97% people don't actually succeed. This is work. It's a business, and it's going to take some, work at it. And I just wanted to break that down for you, and that's the reason why. So I've, realized this a while ago, and like I said, my goal was to be like, well, how can I fix this? How can I change it? Well, what if these people are jumping over here and they're jumping here? Well, what if we have something that's 1 through 6 in order, designed, ready for them to go the correct way? So let me show you how that would actually look. You start off with step 1, which is building that personal and online entrepreneur foundation. So what I mean by this is the mindset of an entrepreneur is physically made up differently. It's physically different. And I thought that was so interesting when I learned that. You know what, Justin, you were there when I was just like really found that, and it was so validating that I'm like, oh my gosh, I always thought it was weird. These little things that I did that were so weird because I didn't know any other entrepreneurs. Nobody that I knew had any business. Everybody went to work, and, I became a teacher just because that's what I liked, kids. And when I realized these traits that the entrepreneur had, it was like, oh, yeah, that's different. But the thing is that we're grown up from day one as an employee mindset because we go through societal situations. I mean, we're told to follow directions and work hard. I mean, you hear that little kids, follow directions and work really hard. And that's a good motto to have. And then we're also taught, you know what, you're going to get a 40-hour job and you're going to work 40 years and you've got that seniority status. Well, The kids today, they don't actually have this mentality, which I think is a good thing because it doesn't work. It's broken. We're trying to change that right now. But switching from that mindset of follow directions and work hard is hard. Because if you get into this business and you start following directions and you start working hard, well, who the heck is giving you the directions? You're your own boss. You got to figure this out on your own. And if it doesn't work, you got to go out there and try something else. So it's a very hard mindset to switch that you're in charge 100%. You're going to make it or you're not, and 100% rides on you. That's hard to do. And to be able to do that, it takes constant interaction, influence, rewiring of your brain from those who are already doing it. If you've never heard that, the 5 people around you that you hang out the most with are the ones that you're the closest to. So think about the 5 people that you hang out with and, which 5 people do you want to be around? So it's very hard I'm going to flip that. That's me personally, why I love to be able to go to these events. It's hard to leave my family and to do everything that needs to happen, but getting back with entrepreneurs that are all having the same goal and they can relate to what I'm talking about, and have like this bigger vision for their life, it's just so enlightening, and I love doing that. So that's just side note, but it's hard to do that in your personal life when no one around you understands kind of who you are. But online entrepreneurism, that's the online stuff. That's constantly changing, and you got to be very proactive and have a network that's in the game helping you and say, well, this is what's working now and this is what's working now. So that's kind of what step 1 is. It's understanding who you are, who you want to be, and how you want to be an entrepreneur, and being able to build that foundation on the internet. So if you can start with there, then you've got some foundation to build up on. Then you know where you're going. And if you start there, then you're ready to go into 2, because now you've got the confidence that says, okay, I know what I'm doing, or I know what I don't know, and I know what I do know, and now let's move forward. So step 2 is learning marketing fundamentals to create buyers on demand. Marketing is psychological. I mentioned that in the beginning. You have got to understand what motivates people to take action. When Justin said that people will go out there and take that information, and some of it's going to work for others, and some of it's not going to work for others, this has a lot to do with it. The strategy behind it, but also the psychological aspect of what makes people take action is huge. Your words that you use, the phrases that you use, you're attracting who you're going to work with. Sometimes you're not sure who you're going to attract, and then you start looking at your customers and be like, man, these are not the people I want to work with. I better go change my marketing message, So, and the other thing is understanding where your prospects are coming from. Like if they're coming from social media, if they're coming from an ad, if they were searching for you, that has a direct impact on what type of marketing you should create. So I'm getting a little bit deeper on these different things, but once you learn how to do these things, the same amount of actions that you're taking now have just huge results. So that's why I want to go down just a little bit deeper. And figuring out who your perfect buyer is before you even begin, it helps you so much just coming out of the gate. You're not just throwing something on the wall and hoping that it sticks. You're actually saying, okay, I've thought about this. I've planned this out. I realize what I'm going to do. This is the person I want to go after. Well, oh my gosh, I could go so much deeper in there, but we don't have time for that. So marketing fundamentals takes you now like, okay, I'm actually ready. I know who I'm targeting. I know what the message is. I know what they want. I know how I can solve their problem. Now I got to go get set up. And this right here can be a huge hurdle for people, especially if you don't have much experience with computers. I mean, mindset, it's a huge thing. It's going to get in your way a lot of times. Unfortunately, it's just very hard to get out of your own head sometimes. It'll pull you away from this step. I've seen a lot of people just get pulled down by tech stuff. If you doubt your abilities, you got to be able to say, nope, I can do this. I can follow along and get yourself set up. Tech stuff can range from super simple all the way to extremely complex. And in the beginning, when you're just getting started, it's hard to have any extra time or money to really outsource this stuff. Sometimes you just kind of got to learn it. But you got to decide what your goal is before you really attempt to go down that tech rabbit hole, because sometimes you could just get stuck in learning mode forever. I mean, how many of you right now are listening are just like, oh my gosh, I've been learning and learning and learning and I haven't done anything. If you catch yourself ever saying that, it's time to just get it done however you can. And sometimes taking that shortest path to profit by leveraging whatever you have, whatever campaigns that are given to you, as long as they're done well and somebody else is following up on your behalf, use that. You don't always have to create your own stuff. And then when you're ready, you take it to the next level. You start branding your own websites. You start doing your own presentations. You get a jump in credibility. Everybody that's doing, 6, 7 figures, they've got their own stuff. So this is the path to get you there. Once you're ready to start marketing, go out there and start getting traffic. Figure out what's the best traffic source for your personality. It just kills me when people are like, okay, this is the best thing that's working, go do it. It's like, well, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You've got strengths, you've got personalities, you've got different time than other people, and what works for them doesn't always mean it's going to work for you. There's not one best method that works for everyone. I think it's important that you learn the different marketer or different strategies that are out there so that you can see kind of what you like, because you may find out that you flourish doing online videos and you would have never thought that. You might have been terrified the first time you did them and then come to find out they're actually kind of fun. You never know unless you try. But figure out what works for you and then really pick that one main strategy, and that's very, very key, not to just do that surface level marketing that I was telling you about. And then they start creating a baseline of lead flow. It's just constantly coming in, because when you're trying to build a business and you're barely getting any leads, that's tough. It's just like, it's almost like gut-wrenching, like, okay, I just wish I had people to talk to. So you got to create that baseline flow of lead flow, start scaling up your traffic, do push marketing, do pull marketing, and that's okay if you don't know what those are. You don't need to know what those are just yet. A give and take is very, very important, giving out great value and then asking for the sale or the whatever when it's ready. The new social environment that we are has some brand new rules that were not even in existence last year. So it's very important to be able to be aware of what's going on and how to scale, which takes you to that step 5. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. You put in $1 and you get $2 out, but this is what a lot of people don't do. And a lot of they don't know how to do it. No one's teaching this stuff, but testing, changing your campaigns, being really willing to lose money on your initial campaigns. I don't really know any top-level marketers that are not willing to do that. You put something together and you think it's going to do amazing, but you don't know. Your market's going to tell you if it's going to work or not. So if you lose some money on your initial campaign, that's okay, as long as you just go back and figure out why. Breaking even, that's a good thing, especially if you've built out your funnel well enough that you can make some extra money. And you realize that it's a game. The process, there's breakdown areas. Find out where they are and fix it. It's going to happen. I just said that. Try to compete with yourself. If you got, a great click-through on this one and you made this much money, the next ad you put out, try to make it better. It's just, if you can keep it fun and you can keep it moving forward, this is exactly what the marketing game is. And you can only do this if you're tracking everything. And that comes down to, and ask yourself, if you guys are making money, if you're in the position where you're out there marketing right now and you're making money and you just want to get bigger, do you know these? How many people saw your capture page? How many people opted into that? How many people watched your video? How long did they watch your video? How many sales were made from that, and where did they come from? Because if you don't know the answers to these questions, and yes, that's a little bit more advanced, you don't start there, but eventually, if you want to make 6 figures, you better know the answers to these questions. And when Justin was going through this with me real early this morning, I was showing them this. He said, hey, you want to actually show them proof of that? And I said, absolutely. And so this is perfect, because he sent out an email this morning that had an audio message in it. And so just like a true marketer would, he's got stats on that. And so he sent me these screenshots to put in here, and he's got viewer engagement on that video. You can see it was, maybe like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and you can kind of see where it started to taper off. You can see the breakdown by device. And you know what, Justin, I had to ask you, what the heck is WebKit? Because that's like the first thing on there with 58 people were on WebKit. I don't even know what that is.
I think it's an unidentified browser.
Okay. That would make sense.
Or a mixture of the two. Some browsers have plugins and it throws these stats off, and so some analytics tracking, you just kind of compile them all together and say, oh, we'll make up a funny name and call it whatever.
All right. So I just thought that was interesting.
I could be completely wrong, but
we don't know everything.
I'm thinking that's what it is.
We don't know everything. It's okay. But this is right here. Okay, well, 46% actually finished the entire audio. Well, that's pretty important to know. If maybe he had a really cool offer, at the end, only 46% got to the end of it. Well, that's a completely different problem. Like if you're not making sales, well, did everybody get to the end and see your offer, or did people not get to the offer? It's a different problem. It's a different fix, right? And then I like this, like 46% of the people watched the whole thing. on average, people stopped watching your video at 1 minute and 7 seconds, and you should check the section between right here because that's where you're losing most of your viewers. Now, guys, how many of you think that's helpful to know? If this was a really important video or audio that he wanted to get people to stick, don't you think he might go back at this thing and say, well, what did I say? What was my tone? How could I fix that? Because I want more people staying all the way to the end. That's a strategy thing. It's tactical putting it out there, but it's more strategical. Like, I want better results from the same thing, and how can I change it? All right, so this stuff is important, and that's just total proof right there that we do this kind of stuff. It's important because the last thing is scale your efforts. Most really, truly never get to this stage, but once you're consistent, your leads are coming in, you look beyond that one campaign and you say, what else can I do? You know, oh my gosh, my dogs are running crazy. Are you still there?
Who, me? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. They just tore past me and ripped my cord out of the wall. So, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so when you get to this point, you've got to ask yourself, how do you want to scale your business? And there's many different ways to do that. And that's why when you get to this stage, you can take it many different ways. You can have a new audience, have your same campaign and just change your avatar and go into a whole nother niche and keep your same product. Maybe you could get more products to sell. You could either build out an affiliate program or extend your affiliate program, add some high tickets to the back of your funnel. You can license out your existing products. There's just a lot of different ways that you could eventually scale. If you are doing 6 figures or you're almost there, if you want to get up to 7, these are just different ways that you could do that. And then also segmenting your list so that you could increase your concurrent conversions, just interesting things like that. So these right there, it's a lot. I mean, it really is a lot, but when you can break it down all the way into little individual things and say, okay, I should start here and I should work my way up, and you can follow a proven plan to get you there, then you're just going to be able to take off a lot of the frustration. You're going to take off a lot of the confusion and the overwhelm that goes when you're jumping from place to place. So like I said, it does sound like it's a lot. It is if you're on your own, but when it's broken down in individual steps, it's very attainable. So some of the stuff that that I just mentioned in there, you do need to know that, but some of the stuff you don't need to do right now. As long as you can understand the process and where you are and how to get there, that's really truly what we want for you right now. And Justin and I, hopefully you can see by now, especially from the tone of this webinar, we want to help you. That's what I've been focusing on for the last months, and that's kind of where this Home Business Academy comes in. We're going to be breaking down every step of this blueprint that I just went through, every specific action step for you and your business. Whatever business you are currently trying to build, we want to help you with that and break these steps down for you with full intentions of helping you create your own 6-figure business. Now, if you don't have a business yet, that's definitely something we can help you find or create or put together. But I think right now most of you probably would. Few of you might not. But what the Home Business Academy is it's actually 2 full days of true online training. And it's designed to help you achieve the exact results that you're looking for. It's going to be a very small, intimate style so that you can fully maximize your time, because what we want to be able to do with people cannot be done when you have 200, 300 people in the room. It just can't. So, what we want to be able to do is have a physical event. And why is that? To me, I mean, I would not be where I am today without events. And like I mentioned, it's hard. It's very hard for me to get there when I've got the 3 kids and the 2 dogs and the family and stuff. It's hard, but I certainly would not be where I am if I hadn't started going to events. And when you do an immersion type of workshop course, a workshop training event, it's really truly the best way to learn. And there's no distractions of your normal life. If you're on a webinar, which you are right now, or you're catching the recording, you've got life going on. I mean, yeah, my dogs just tore past here. They ripped that thing out of the wall. It just distracted me for a second. But if you're trying to learn, you're still in life mode because you're in your house, you're in your office, you're on your couch, wherever you are. You've got things that come in. So it's just a little bit different. When you can detach from everything and get fully engaged, where 100% of your entire focus is specifically for a goal that you're working on, It's the best way to learn. When there's other entrepreneurs in the same area going through the same thing as you, having the same experience as you, it's almost undescribable. Truthfully, if you've never been to an event, it's very undescribable. And when people finally go, they say, oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you mean. But having other people there, having us to be able to answer your questions immediately when we're working on something specific and giving you action tasks to actually go through. If you have a question, you can instantly get it clarified, get it figured out, and then move forward. Because if you have to wait on a question or if you're just unclear on something, that could stump you for hours or even days. So being able to be all there together at one time to get those questions answered is just super important. And right there, the last part, it's complete clarity of every step on where you are and how to get to where you're going. So,
Hey, while you're touching on that, I want to ask everybody a question, just for my curiosity. Um, I'm going to ask a series of questions, but I want as many people to answer this first question. How many, have you ever been to a live marketing training event? So just type in a yes if you've been to one, um, and we'll give a few minutes, and then I'll ask another question here in a little bit because I'm just curious. I just want to know if you've ever been. Like, have you experienced what she's talking about here? I'm just curious. So, and while they're typing that, I'll be reading, and you can continue on.
okay, okay. So the question is, there's a lot of different events out there, but I will say there hasn't been an event that I'm creating curriculum for, so I'm extremely excited because I've been wanting to do an event for probably 13 months. I've never really been in the position to physically do it yet. I almost had one down here in Tampa, and then things got switched around, but ever since I started going to events and then I would leave and then I would see people, the reactions of what they got out of it and how much they did or didn't implement, I've always thought, man, I hate saying this, but I'm like, I could do that better. If we did it this way, if they would have just done this, these people would get so much more out of it. So, when Justin approached me, Sunday, about coming in and kind of working on this, I was like, yeah, how can we really truly make this the best experience possible as far as results? A lot of events are great, but it's more of getting you the results. That's been my whole focus, is getting people results. So, it's definitely not going to be pitch fest of speakers. We're going to have some people come in just besides us that are going to give you some great value, but they're being handpicked for sure, and they're not going to be pitching all their stuff. That's not why we want people there. And I think you can gauge by tonight that there will be no theory or fluff that just sounds good. That's not going to be happening. The schedule is going to be jam-packed. It's going to be a working event, and it's going to be a lot, but it's going to be totally obtainable and very clear for you to be able to do it. And it's going to be fun because I'm all about having fun. I like to have fun, but I do like to work hard too, and I've been able to do a good mix of having fun and working hard at the same time. But during this schedule, we're breaking down these 6 steps. I've already done this personally with three different coaching groups because I like to have groups. I've done one-on-ones, but I like having groups because of that group interaction, like I was just mentioning. And each time I've done it, I've implemented different things for it. And so being able to take it to the live setting is way awesome because these 6 steps were broken down over a 6-week period of time. But if I can condense it and get them done right there, that's just, way better for everybody there. So we're going to be doing learn, then implement style. So right there, because that's what you want. You want results. You want to be in the game. And I think when the most people that I spoke with, it was like, I want to be in the game. I don't want to be, I know I need to learn things, but I just want to be in the game. And when you're in the game and you're getting results, no matter how small they are, you're moving forward. You're getting something. And I can tell you, if you're getting any kind of looks from any other people, in your vicinity, in your family or around you that are like, what the heck are you doing on that computer? You spend so much time on there. You're spending money. When is it ever going to pay off? Getting these results is going to get you so much confidence to be able to move forward. And so, unlike most events, you will have complete clarity. I think we've said that word like 18 times tonight because it's so important. At least it is to me because I've seen what happens when people have clarity. So my main goal is to make sure that you're getting results and you're clear on what you need to do when you get home. Very, very important. And our goal is for you to actually get results before the weekend is over. We're actually planning this out so that you are going to be getting results before the weekend is over. So,
That's not a goal, that's a perk of coming, by the
uh,
way. I'll
you,
just publicly say that right now that there's not a good chance you'll get results if you come and you don't just look at me with your arms crossed and you actually listen and do like there's going to be one session that we're going to do and every single person is going to participate and it's a 100% guarantee that every single person will get results. They'll start getting leads, and it's not going to be you're going to be making $1,000. Like you're going to move forward. You're going to get progress, and again, it's going to be all part of just that environment that's made up
yeah,
of it. So that's I just want to say it's not a goal.
it's more than
It's
that.
something that it's just going to
It's
happen.
it's going to happen. It's out there publicly, so now we got to do it.
Just putting some accountability for myself. So
Yeah, well, you just did. So that almost brings a new level to it. And so I think that's really awesome because now we're definitely on the hook to make sure. And I have an issue with, let's see, I over deliver all the time. So if I say that something's going to happen or it's put on me to do it, it's definitely going to happen. So, but that's a good thing for you. So just remembering, especially if you, and I know a lot of you are because I can see the names too. I have gotten money before. You're doing okay. If you can remember back to when that first happened, when you first were like, okay, this happens. I mean, I still remember the first $17 I ever made. That was the first, like, oh my gosh, somebody that I don't know bought this and I just made $17. It's possible. The fact that it's possible and it happens to me and it's going to happen to you, if you can do it once, you can do it again. And if you can do it again, you can do it better and then you can do it bigger. And the only thing that gets in the way is truthfully you, your mind, your beliefs, your mindset. And so if you're consciously aware of that, and putting yourself in the position where you do have accountability and you do have a network of people, then you're putting yourself in the position where you're going to have success. So, when Justin mentioned this to me, I started looking. I'm like, okay, well, what else do we have at this event? What is cool about this event? And one of the things that I noticed I thought was actually pretty cool that dinner is included on Friday night. I don't know, besides the other event that I went to that you put on, you had dinner that night, and I thought that was like so classy. I was like, man, that's really nice that he put this nice spread on for a welcoming thing. You're doing that again. And I think that's really a testament to the fact that we're there to grow together as a community, to help people move forward, and just kicking it off with, hey, dinner's included Friday night. Get down here. Let's hang out together. Let's eat. Let's network. Let's get to know each other, see what people's goals are, and see what we can get out of the weekend. I think that's really awesome. But the whole package to try to make this, hey, this is pretty cool is, breakfast is included every morning with the room deal. So, heck, I don't think I've ever been, and I've gone to a lot of events. I started thinking about it a little while ago. I don't think I've ever been to an event where breakfast is included. So that right there is pretty freaking awesome. So you're going to be able to save money on that. We want you to be able to bring somebody. I think I already mentioned it, but to me, like people aren't just numbers. They're not just seats in a chair. That person has the family. That person has somebody else. Maybe that person has a spouse that doesn't understand what they're doing, and by taking them along, they could understand what's going on and what they're working on. Or you've got a partner that you're working with, or just a good friend that is your sounding board. You want to bring them along so they can understand what you're doing. Having some type of support system is really important. So we want to be able to actually give you that free guest ticket so that you can get there and have somebody else experience what you're going through, because it's hard when you're at an event and then you get back and be like, well, what'd you learn? It's very hard if you aren't actually there. We got transportation to the hotel, free internet in the room, which you usually have to pay for. So I just think that's pretty cool. I had to put that in there because me personally, I thought that was pretty cool that it was thought of, because I just think it shows that you were thinking of them, truthfully. So we do have a VIP option on, and which all I know is that that's got a dinner on Saturday night. So Justin, do you want to touch a little bit more on the VIP option at all, or you want
Yeah, I
to?
do, and I want to give a little bit of context here, just so you guys understand kind of what to expect and what this is. Brenda said just a few minutes ago that I reached out to her. just a few days ago,
Yeah, a few days
and
ago.
asked to help really um, come together and really help construct this and just deliver some huge value for you guys. And I was consulting with a few people, and this event has been in the works for quite a while. I mean, it's been in development, and we've been planning on it uh, for a long time. And it was initially supposed to be a big event, like several hundred people. Um, and we've had a couple of different shifts in our thinking, because just a few months ago, back in November, that one that you were talking about, Brenda, that you came and spoke with, we had an event. It was a small crowd. It was 50 or so people, and it was a three and $5,000 event, and so it was one of our masterminds, and we had people come in, and the environment that was created was it was more of a connecting environment, more of a supporting environment. The caliber of people and the support and the love and just everything about that environment. I don't know exactly what it was, but something about it was different. And it was really made evident to me on the last day. We pretty much um, completely canceled the last two sessions because we decided the last afternoon to have a few people, have a couple people come up and give ahas. And the first few ahas were so good and so emotional and like thankful and saying, this is I mean, this has been huge. Like they were so good. We just continued on because there were so many people, and we had to cancel the actual last two sessions, and we ended up the event like that. And it was a really great environment. Okay, so we're actually that was one of the programs that we structured, that we go super deep with people and really get some clarity in all areas, and we help them put together specific plans, and so the people that are actually getting results come in and pinpoint where they need to focus and all of that. So we're actually redoing that, and in the process of me redoing that and getting ready for the next one, so that the same people can actually get further involved and more in depth, and actually make progress a little bit more. In getting ready to that, I thought, we're a little bit short on time. Um, how can I do this? I've spent the last few weeks, as much as I could, going back and forth and spending a lot of time with my aunt, who's many of you know has been in the hospital. She fought cancer for quite a while, and she ended up passing away a few weeks ago. And after all of that kind of taking place, the reason I tell you that is I didn't have a lot of time to promote nearly as good as I should have. So I'm looking at it initially kind of in a place of, okay, we want to have a lot of people here. We want to have a few hundred people here, and we're a long way from that. So what do I do? And I got to thinking, it was right about the time I was doing the, reorganizing. Just I was immersed in the ignition event, the one that we had that was one of our mastermind events, and I thought, let's create that exact same experience, because yeah, it would be nice to have a lot of people there, but the ones that said, yes, I have been to an event, the next thing I want you to think about is, well, did you walk away and feel good? Most of the time you do, but there's another little piece that you don't really realize, but you gradually start falling off, and you have to look back and notice it a few weeks later, and like, man, all that excitement and all that, pumped up about what I was going to do when I left, where did that go? It kind of faded away. And so I was really thinking about that, and I said, instead of moving forward and bringing more people in, let's keep this small. Let's keep it very intimate, because every person there, I literally think we had a testimony. It was the only, I mean, we had a testimony from every single person that came, and every person that was there on the last day was everybody got up on stage, got pictures, got to share their ahas, and it was an experience. That particular piece of the event was my favorite part. Um, in that experience, I said, that was too good to not create that again, and people loved it because it was very intimate. Having an event. I mean, we just got back from an event just last week actually, and there was 2,000 people there. It was a great event, but the speaker has no clue who I am or that I was even there, and I paid good money to go to that event.
Yep.
That's just one of the downsides of having lots of people. You're not able to connect. You can't put enough people in the room to make sure that everybody is connected with and has that one-on-one time. And that is really what I would prefer. And after talking with everybody that was at that last event, that's what they prefer, is they like that intimate setting. Everybody said that, I really like an intimate setting. So essentially, what we're doing here with Home Business Academy is the same scenario. The content's going to be a little bit different because you're not starting at the same place that they start. All right, it's a little bit different. We've kind of matched up the two curriculums, but everything else, all right, the same scenario, the stuff that you specifically need, that we give our $3,000 events. I mean, you're coming to a $3,000 event. All right, that's what we're putting together for. I've been
It's not
working
going to cost
on
three
slides
thousand
or
dollars.
content. Oh no, no, it's not going to cost 3,000.
Not even close.
But I want you to understand that that's the amount of intensity that that's how I'm approaching this. We've got the same planners, we've got dinners lined up, very nice networking parties lined up. We've got some really great speakers that are going to be doing a favor and coming in, and I can guarantee you that if you've been in the marketing world and you bought any products and you've been on any other webinars, or if you've followed marketers or on anybody's list, you've heard of some of these speakers that are coming in. I promise you. They've been gracious enough. I've been able to. And funny enough, I've been able to call them and say, hey, I I need a favor. I need you to come in and add some value because I want to treat this like like our mastermind. And the thing is, when you try to get big name 7 and 8 figure marketers to come in, people that have busy lives and their time is extremely expensive, it's difficult. You don't give them a few weeks notice. That it doesn't happen. So fortunately, I was able to actually call in some favors, and I'm still working on that, and there's going to be even a little bit more involved there. But I was able to have connections with these people, and me being able, I started thinking about it afterwards. I was like, how was I able to pull that off? How the hell did I do that? Where did I meet this person? Guess what? Everybody that I had these connections with, I've met at live events. And again, that story of my first live event that I went to sold $100,000. That is not a typical story, right? But I got to thinking, I was just in the place. I was in the right place in my head. I knew it was time for me to do it. And so I had heard about, you got to get to live events, you got to get to live events, but I also noticed that was one of those things that the gurus were actually doing. They were getting themselves at the events. They were attending the events themselves. So that's really how I'm approaching this whole event. So I just wanted to kind of say that. I mean, the specifics, well, we can talk more about the specifics. I mean, it's more, but just get there if there's any way possible. So I'll let you go ahead and there it is.
Well, yeah,
So
I
you go
accidentally
ahead and
just hit my
continue on.
computer. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
well, there
no
you go.
worries. Go ahead and
Um, yeah, so I mean, obviously he's saying that we're going after the 3K event that he was at. That's one of the ones that I was at also. So and when we started talking about the curriculum, it was like, okay, well, this if I'm gonna be this is what I would like. This is what I think would really help, and this is what I'd like to do. And so I think it's amazing. I've never been to an event that's gonna do the stuff that we're going to do. So I'm really excited about it. I mean, I'm legitimately really excited about being able to be in a position to help the people that are going to be there. So when actually is this? It is February 21st through the 23rd in Phoenix, and it is right around the corner. I realized that when he asked me, I was just like, whoa, okay, that's right around the corner. And like he just said, that event that he was at, I was in that event too. It was 2 weeks ago in San Diego, and when we got back, when I'm actually gone, I have to have 3 people take care of some of my responsibilities, just because I'm like that super mom, But no, one of my daughters has to go to eye therapy, and I have to pick her up early from school, which means I can't pick up my other two. So I need somebody else to pick up my other kids 2 days, 4 days a week. So I've got my mother-in-law doing it one day, my mom does it the other day. I've got my dogs that have to get taken care of during the day while I'm gone. So it's really not that easy for me to be gone to go to one of these events. And I wasn't planning on going to this one just because I had just gotten back. And I'm not going to say no, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity. I'm very excited, but I understand that when some people look at this date, it's like, well, that's not a lot of notice, and I can get that, but I'm going to completely go out there and promise you it's going to be worth the effort to get there. And I was speaking with somebody today. I can't see the names right now, so Emily, if you're on the line, but I just got to pop out there. Now we were talking, and she was one of my coaching students. She's one of my 4K coaching students from before, and she's doing amazing right now. I'm like super proud of where she's come from and where she's going. And I just said, hey, we've got this event in 3 weeks. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but it'd be amazing if you could get out there. And she's like, yeah, I'm going. I mean, she didn't even hesitate to tell me that she was going, and I thought that's awesome. First off, I'd be glad to see her again for sure, but she's going to get a lot out of it, because especially since she's doing some new stuff. But if you want to do something, you're going to make the effort. You're going to get out there, and to prove to you that I want to make it worth your effort to get there, I wanted to be able to do whatever I could to make this decision easier for you, because personally, I'm not someone that's going to really hop on a webinar and be like, hey, guess what? There's this great event, and it's just, hey, 3 weeks away. Come on down. Because I just know what it takes for me to be able to do this. And so that may not be your situation. It may be like, yeah, it's no big deal for me to, hop up and go. But if, you're thinking about this, what I was trying to do is say, okay, what can I do to be able to really put it over the top, that if you want to get there, we want you there. We're going to do whatever we can to get you there. So right now, you're listening to us talk, right now if you want to come. It just might be a matter of logistics, but don't really try hard not to let that be your excuse, because you're going to get so much out of it. But one of the things that I wanted to do is like, okay, listen, let's really make this easy. So one of the things we put together is for the first 5 people who actually buy their ticket tonight, and I put before midnight because that's Central Time, that's your time, so that's in a little while. We're going to bump you up to that VIP, which I forgot to ask you. I had no idea what that was worth, and I think you showed me that page. It's actually $500. So you actually didn't say what that VIP was. You didn't really mention that. So the first 5 people are going to get that VIP upgrade. So do you want to touch on that for just a second? What are you getting with that?
Yeah, so there's a difference. The VIP ticket is, we did a 50% off for the first few people that actually did it. So tickets were, when they were 50% off, they were $97 and $197 for the VIP. The VIP is, we're having another dinner and a private party, and that's going to be on Saturday night. So all the speakers come in, everybody that's VIP, you get to come in and actually, we feed you and set you down. It's a really nice dinner. Everything's, like really, really nice dinner.
Oh, okay, that was a very nice dinner. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and so we come in, and there's usually an open bar, just a place. It's a good time to get pictures set down. Literally, I mean, I'll probably come sit down beside you. I try to make a personal connection with every person there. It's the reason I like having small events, so I can actually accomplish that. But that's essentially what the big benefit of getting a VIP ticket. And the prices they've actually doubled. So regular tickets are $197 and VIP tickets are $297. Now,
Okay.
we have a bonus day that we're doing on Monday, the following day. You'll see it after you get your ticket. It's completely optional. We're going to really touch on where we're going to teach people how to get the most out of events. So all those people that, if you've ever been to an event and you left not getting the most out of it, or you leave and thinking, well, that's really great. I'm all pumped up, and then 2 weeks later you look back and say, okay, well, I just spent a whole lot of money. I mean, I had fun. It was great. It was a great time, but ROI standpoint, it ended up costing me more money than it spent. So there's certain questions, certain things you want to do while you're at events, and so we've got a bonus day that's just completely dedicated to that for the ones that are interested in learning that. And we'll have somebody from our team actually call you and tell you. Actually, I think there's details on it on the page after you actually sign up, along with all of the hotel details where you can actually book the discounted room rate. for the room, that kind of thing. So
So they're getting an
VIP right
extra.
now, that is
Oh,
that's
go ahead.
$297. Yeah.
So they're actually getting another day on Monday, optional day on Monday to have like complete access to sit down and talk and do. That's really cool. that's that's a
Yep.
really great offer to be able to get some intimate coaching and training and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Um, just want to go on for the first 20 people that get your ticket, like 10, well, first 20 people. So then however long that's going to take, I don't think it's going to actually take that long. But what we're going to do, and I love this idea because this is how much I just want to prove that we just really want you to get you there because there's going to be so much content for you. We're going to put you on what we're calling the free list. So when you register at the event, so you buy your ticket, get that gone through, lets us know that we've got your seat, we've got you counted for. When you actually come to the event and you register, we're going to refund you your ticket cost to show you we really want you to be there. We don't want price to be an objection because I know how much you're going to get out of it. Um, and then, which also means basically if you're having a guest, you can really get 2 free guest tickets, truthfully. And then any tickets after the first 20 is going to get that 50% off. So that, and then you go through the link, which is right there. So if you go through this link and you get through this page, the tickets are $97. So 50% off. They're not $197. They're $97 if you're coming through this link right now, which is a different link, but it's results513.com/HBA for Home Business Academy. So results513.com will get HBA, will get you that $97 price. But if you know what, if you're one of the first 5, you get that bumped up to VIP, which also would put you on the free list, I guess. I'm not sure. I didn't really think that out, but I guess it would.
You don't have to get it right. You just have to get going.
That's
Fix it
right.
along the way.
So if you're like one of the first 5, you get like double whammy, awesome bonus there. The next 20, you get on that free list. We really just want you to be there, so you will get reimbursed. And after that, it's 50% off, only $97, coming through this link right here. So I think that really just kind of goes to show you how much we really are in it for the people. We want you to be there. We want to be able to give you this value because I know if you can get there, it's going to be so worth your time, and you're really going to be happy that you were actually there. So on top of that, you know what, Justin, I've been talking forever. I'm gonna let you just kind of go on with this because I think
Okay.
that you came up with this, and I read it, and I thought, excuse me, but damn, that's awesome, and I totally agree with it, and I'm putting it in the slide. So go
Yeah,
for it.
again, just more accountability. This just shows. I mean, we're not playing around it, and I'll give you a little. Again, I kind of be called the context guy. So a little bit of backstory here. Um, One of the things that we really want to do going forward with this year, with some of the plans that I have, is the audience that I create, the value that I give at these events. Like I really want to have a solid community. I want to have a supportive environment where people can go to in person, and also develop that same type of environment online. And it's, I can tell you from experience, it's a lot harder. It's, there's a lot more to it than just setting up a Facebook group and getting in and plugging in some content and random stuff every day and chatting. There's a lot more to it than that. It's actually pretty difficult. So one of the ways that I was actually, when I was looking at, well, how do we do this? How do we really establish this supportive community? And I was consulting with somebody who actually consults with most of the biggest direct sales and network marketing companies that are out there. She can, like, they all go to this consulting, these 2 people for consulting. And so she said one of the best things that you can do is just completely over deliver, completely blow their mind, completely, like, your 3,000, your mastermind, like how you did them, like take that treatment and give it to these people. I said, okay, what does that price look like? She said, it stays the same. It's like, wait a minute, you mean that? Because that, I can tell you, that does not cost a little bit of money. That's a lot of money. It's expensive, right? There's costs involved with doing some of the things that we really enjoy doing, and it just makes the experience so much greater for you. And again, that's all part of the learning process, and to really get you to retain what you learn, so you do walk away and the stuff sticks, and there's also a supportive environment that you can go to. And in terms of kicking off this community and how to do it, I don't know if there's a better way that I could have done it. Um, putting in all of this time and energy and effort and money into delivering a phenomenal event. If you guys have never been to a $3,000 mastermind event or above, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 masterminds, um, you've never, it's a different experience from a regular event that you may be used to, going in, seeing a stage where the speakers are all speaking down at you, and you know sometimes they're pitching on pretty much after every speaker, and they're trying to sell something. It's a different experience. Um, so this is a no better way of actually kicking that community off than giving that experience for nothing. So that's, I mean, you just all you got to do is show up. That's all you got to do. So the guarantee here, if you leave this event, we're going to be covering specifics. Like, we have dedicated sessions on everything that we talked about here, plus a list of other stuff that we didn't even get a chance to get into. We didn't even open that box yet. We have specifics that we're going to be getting into, and if you leave without knowing exactly what you need to do to build a six-figure online business in the next year, right? All you have to do is let us know. We'll refund the ticket price. We're going to even pay for your hotel stay out of our own pocket. So if you come down and you after the second day you say, I still don't know what to do. Like, I'm not clear. I don't know what I need to be doing. If you don't have that clarity, you tell us, and we just wasted your time, so we're going to pay you for that. We're going to reimburse you. So the second guarantee is it caters towards the actual results. I'm big on people actually getting results. So what we want to prove to you, that what we're teaching, the process that we're teaching, and that we're going to be enrolling you in and telling you to, because you've got to, mentally buy into it yourself. We're going to say, hey, if you do this, this, and this, which is going to be a little bit different than you've heard other places, we need you to enroll in that thought process. And to do that, we can say it all day, and you might not. And this is where, one of the insights that I recently had from putting on a mastermind event. You can say things all day, but if people don't mentally enroll themselves in it, then it makes no difference. So I decided this is the solution for that. We're going to prove that. Like, we're going to embed it in there that, hey, he's not just saying this actually works. And to do that, we're going to have a dedicated session where you actually get results. Like, it will produce results for you. And again, same thing applies there. So if you don't get that result, all right, if what I'm telling you is not true, then we're going to refund that ticket, and we're going to pay for your hotel stay. And I'll do this out of my own pocket.
Yeah, it's going to be Justin's pocket.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is absolutely possible. Everybody can do it. It's just a matter of making a decision. Brenda, do you have that link pulled up? We got a few people asking.
Yeah, I was just going to, oh, look at that. I should have just pushed the button. I did have that link up.
No worries.
So
low. One thing that I wanted to, wait, how much do we have left? Like,
I don't know. Here? I think,
so I've got a quick story that I want to tell. Okay, cool. So we're going to do questions. I mean, that link's live, guys. Results513.com/HBA. You can actually open up another browser and go to it right now. And I would actually, if you're thinking, like, if you're going to do it, I would prefer you do it while I'm here.
To make sure you
for the main reason, because I'm the one that set that up, and it could be set up wrong. Okay. So if you go to the page and if something's broke, then let me know. If you've already got your ticket and it worked, then let me know as well. But I want to answer any questions.
Absolutely.
And if you're thinking about this, go ahead and type in the word thinking. Like, if you're considering this, if you're on the fence, you're saying, I really want to be there. It sounds good. I think there's some value here. You don't have to tell why or anything. Just type in the word thinking into the chat box. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'd love to know also.
To see, if you're interested, if you're considering going. Okay, so Victoria's looking at flights right now. Okay, good.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, you guys.
While you're looking at that real quick, I just wanted to pipe in for the people that know me, because I know we've got a mix here of Justin's people and my people also, and eventually we're going to be our people. But the people that are very aware of what I've been working on, I've been working on this training platform for a while. I've been working with Justin on this thing behind the scenes. we are so right there. And, you know, I wasn't expecting to have an event come up. We were very close to being just soft launching it right open. And then when this event popped up, and it was just like that, to me, was why I didn't hesitate to actually say, of course, I'll come in here and help with this, because live events, I mean, I love them personally because they're fun and we can do a lot of stuff with them, but the community that comes out of it is going to completely move forward. And being able to have the people at an event and move them forward and continue staying with them, I think is like the best exact way that I would want to do anything. So I'm really excited about the people that are going to be attending and coming, not just for the 2-3 days that we're there. Like for me, it goes on a lot farther than that, because what we've been working on for a year and where I see us going for the next years and beyond is the community that Justin was saying. I mean, there's a reason him and I have been working together, just on different things, been working behind the scenes over the last few months, because we have very, very similar goals, and our goals all stem around helping other people. I was never looking for a partner. When we started having these conversations, he was speaking in such a manner that was exactly with what I was thinking, and it just kind of fell into place that we've got to be able to do something, because not that many people are doing what we want to do, and there's such a need for it in our industry. It's just so needed. And so for us to be able to get people to an event, whether or not it's short notice or not, that's besides the point. It's needed, and it's just going to get bigger from there. So I'm just really excited. A little hectic, but it's going to be so worth it. And I've got 100% dedication to making sure this is the best event anyone's gone to. I mean, my girls, we had a conversation. I sat them down and I was like, listen, I'm going to have to be gone again in 3 weeks. I know I told you I wasn't going to go anywhere for a while. Here's why. This is what mommy's doing. And, I explained it to them that we were working on this. There was this event. These people are going to come. And, I walk them through everything that I'm doing anyway, so they know what I'm doing. And I think it was my little 6-year-old Kaylee. She's like, well, that's really nice of you to do that, Mommy. You're going to have a lot of people there to help. And I thought, that's exactly right, and that's why we're doing this. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, personal message from me. So I've just got a comment right here. I'm just about to type it, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna actually say this real quick. I'm just, you'll know who you are when I'm saying. I don't need to call you out, but they say they've been to events before. They're mostly hype as far as they can see, spend lots of money and have nothing to show for it. It's the same old, same old. How do I tell if it's worth it? Aren't they all the same? And if you've been in those situations before, it's unfortunate. And I think the only thing that I could say is, words are just words, but it's definitely something that I am aware of and wanting to change. We've been on, I mean, me personally, but I know Justin as well, been on this mission for the last year to really figure out what's wrong. How can we help it? How can we change it? And it's kind of coming to fruition right now, having this live event, being able to be in the position to change things around. So, if you are feeling that, yeah, I get it. There's been a lot of crappy events out there. But the one thing I think about when I hear that an event is coming, the first thing I ask myself, is this going to be an expense or is this going to be an investment? That's my first question to myself. Almost 100% of them have been investments. There's been 2 that were just really kind of expenses because I didn't really want to go, but there was kind of reasons I kind of had to go. So in those 2 situations, I made it a point to be like, what can I actually get out of this that's going to move my business forward? Because, if I'm going to take the time to be away from my family and get all that stuff situated and do everything that needs to get done beforehand, I'm going to get something out of it. So you ask yourself the question, is this an expense or is this going to be an investment? And investment means you're investing in yourself and your business, and you should get a return on that investment. Whether you have gotten them in the past really depends on the event, and it depends on what you learned from it, what you're able to implement it, the mindset that you were when you're ready to go through it, and what happened to you when you got back home, truthfully. I know, and I've talked with and I've coached many people that have gotten back from these events with a lot of excitement and a lot of motivation, and then you ask them in 2 weeks and they've kind of fallen right back into their pattern. I've worked really hard on creating and designing stuff that's going to not allow that to happen, to be able to move you forward no matter that the event is open. And that's why I'm really excited that I actually can start implementing it after an event. It works perfectly. So, what I'm saying is just words, but I'm hoping that you can tell from the tone of what I'm saying and how much more I'm trying to make this different. Then it's not just going to be an event. And you know what, we've got that guarantee in there. I think that's a pretty darn good guarantee of where we're coming from, that it's just not going to be the same old. I wouldn't be doing it. Like if Justin asked me to come in here and said, hey, I'm doing this, I wouldn't be doing it. I mean, there was somewhat of a kind of a curriculum, and it was like, you know what, I think it would be better if we can kind of do this. So we talked about it and we changed things up because I want everybody to get the most possible that they can out of it. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents on the thing right there. So,
That being said, I am done. 3, 2, 1, goodbye.
all right, good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Bye bye.
The organizer has ended the session, and this